Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. All right, guys, I'm back with more updates out of the Middle East, and I want to give you more information regarding this war between Israel and Iran. And I have some very big news to share with you. Today's date is June 20th, 2025, and it's Friday. Current time is 1:09 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the U.S. And we've got very big reports that the U.S. is deploying more military assets into the Middle East. This could possibly indicate the U.S. is going to be ready to go pretty soon to strike Iran. So I'm going to show you this new report here on your screen. U.S. sends more warships into eastern Mediterranean to help defend Israel. The Pentagon has quietly ramped up its presence, now with 5 guided missile destroyers near Israel. Originally, just 2 ships were deployed to help intercept Iranian missiles after Israel struck Iran. Yeah, so literally just a week ago, there was actually only 1 destroyer apparently located off the coast of Israel. Soon after, when Israel launched strikes onto Iran, we had 2 destroyers that were located off Israel. Now they've bumped that up all the way to 5 in less than a week. So that's possibly a big indicator that they're expecting more Iranian missiles to continue striking Israel, as today we had reports that 2 major cities in Israel were under attack by ballistic missiles. That was the city of Beersheba, down in the southern side of the country. Also up in the northern side, the city of Haifa, which is a major port city, was also under attack. So these destroyers are deployed over here to help out Israel and take down these incoming ballistic missiles. But otherwise, we also have reports that there's lots of fighter jets still being deployed to the Middle East, lots of heavy equipment flowing into Israel. So this thing is shaping up to be a major conflict over here, and we'll see if this is a major indicator that the U.S. is going to strike Iran soon. We also have numerous other things we're going to be sharing here with you today, so we're going to jump right into this. Let's hop on over to X with Megatron Ron. New, the United States Navy has deployed 5 ships off the coast of Israel to help intercept Iranian ballistic missiles. This is alongside the many systems Israel already uses to defend itself, including THAAD, David Sling, Arrow 2, and Arrow 3, Patriot, Iron Beam, and Iron Dome, as well as Sa'ar 6 vessels and fighter jets. Iran is now effectively up against more than 10 separate layers of Israeli missile defenses. Yeah, on top of the U.S. helping them out as well. So these are all the missile destroyers that are deployed off the coast of Israel over here. We've got even some down here in the Red Sea and also over here in the Arabian Sea, just south of Iran. Okay, so this is crazy news, guys. More firepower being deployed over here, and I've got more information to show you guys. It's just kind of a map to show all the different assets that are located over here in the Middle East, especially close to Iran. Now, Vicegrad 24 breaking. The U.S. just sent 8 F-22 fighter jets from the U.K. to one of their bases in Jordan. They were accompanied by KC-135 and KC-46 aerial refueling tankers. These F-22 can destroy whatever they want over and under the skies of Iran. There's nothing Tehran can do about it. This was a picture being shared today, allegedly with these F-22 Raptors that were heading on over to Jordan in the Middle East in possible preparation for strikes onto Iran. Okay, so very big news. Lots and lots of firepower showing up over here. Now for Mosin Defender, over the last 24 hours, at least 20 C-17A Globemaster 3s and C-5M Galaxy strategic heavy lift transports with the U.S. Air Force have arrived at air bases in the Middle East from Europe, most originating from bases in the United States carrying additional air defense systems, munitions, support equipment, and personnel, as preparations are in full swing for the U.S. to potentially join Israel in their ongoing war against Iran. Okay, so more of these heavy transport aircraft heading on over to the Middle East to deploy more weapons and air defense and whatever might be, any kind of munitions that might be used to attack into Iran. We're seeing a lot of heavy transport aircraft heading on over there just today and have been for the past week now. So more indication that these strikes could be coming soon. Now, from open source intel, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group is expected to arrive in the Middle East this weekend, according to a U.S. official speaking to Fox News. Okay, this will be 3 aircraft carriers arriving in the Middle East. The Nimitz should be there by this weekend, and this is possibly when we could see these strikes going down. I've seen some sources talking about that, that maybe it could be as soon as this weekend that Trump could give the go-ahead to carry out these strikes onto Iran's nuclear facilities. But yesterday, we heard from the press secretary out of the White House, Caroline Leavitt. she was stating that Trump was saying that he wants about 2 weeks again to decide whether to carry out these strikes. We've heard that numerous times. That's why people call him Taco, which means Trump always chickens out. It's just like a meme that gets passed around the internet right now with all these decisions that Trump is making and also not making. So yeah, there's a big update here, guys. USS Nimitz will be there by this weekend. Now for Max 25, Iran is ready to consider diplomacy, says the Iranian foreign minister. He added that Iran is ready to consider diplomacy only after Israeli aggression is stopped. Negotiations between Iran and European countries regarding the Iranian nuclear program have ended in Geneva. Okay, so Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, right here. This is him standing with all these European diplomats. There's lots of foreign ministers from multiple European nations that met with an Iranian delegation in Geneva and Switzerland. And right now they're trying to discuss some sort of end to this conflict. Europe is trying to mediate, and I have some updates on this today. So Iran's saying that they will consider diplomacy, but only if Israel stops attacking them. Now, open source intel again, breaking. A senior Iranian official to Reuters says demands for zero enrichment will be firmly rejected, especially now under Israel's strikes. Okay, so apparently also the Iranians are stating that they will not give in to zero enrichment at their nuclear facilities, as the U.S. is demanding that apparently they will still want some form of enrichment. I think somewhere around 3% that they claim is for only civilian purposes. And the U.S. is not okay with that at all. They want zero enrichment. So now it looks like we're going to have issues trying to get to some sort of agreement because the Iranians will not agree to zero enrichment of uranium. Now, World Source News 24/7, breaking. Trump says it's hard to make a request for Israel to stop airstrikes. So this was in response to Abbas Araghchi stating that they want Israel to stop attacking them before they agree to anything, really, and commit to any peace talks with the U.S. and whatnot, okay? So apparently Trump saying it's hard to make the Israelis stop, that they're going to continue their strikes onto Iran. I mean, they already started, so why would they stop? Now, World Source News 24/7, breaking. U.S. diplomatic official to Israel Hayom. No advancements in Geneva discussions with Iran. Okay, this was a statement today coming out of Israel that apparently, out of the U.S., there was a U.S. diplomat official that stated this, that apparently there have been no advancements in these discussions in Iran today, that there's no movement on this at all. So that possibly means the U.S. could just go ahead and start striking into Iran. Now for Max 25, progress is being seen in the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, says Trump. So yet on the other hand, we've got Trump here saying that there is progress being made, but we've heard this from Trump many times. You know, even in the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, he stated things like, yes, everything seems to be going fine. You know, I think we're gonna reach a settlement between Ukraine and Russia soon. Yet look at the way things are going between Ukraine and Russia right now. This war is still continuing. So take that with a grain of salt there. Now, World Source News 24/7 again, a break-in. Trump on Iran and Israel. Europe is not going to be able to help with this. So Trump reportedly also stated that Europe will not be able to help mediate, that this is mainly between the U.S., Israel, and Iran right now. So again, I think strikes are going to be coming here very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if this happens sometime in the next week. We're probably not going to see anything come from these talks because it's already been well over 2 months now that the U.S. and Iran have been negotiating and nothing has come from it. Now for Mario Nawfal, Trump slaps sanctions on Iran, Hong Kong caught in the crossfire. As missiles fly and diplomats scramble, the Trump administration just dropped a new wave of sanctions, this time hitting Iranian networks, 2 Hong Kong firms, and three vessels flagged for aiding Tehran. The Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control named 20 entities, 5 individuals, and 3 ships tied to terrorism financing and Iran's shadow economy. While Europe talks diplomacy in Geneva, Washington tightens the economic news. Timing matters. These sanctions come mid-war as Iran fires missiles at Israel and vows a decisive response to Israeli strikes on its nuclear facilities. Hong Kong's role signals something deeper. Tehran's workaround routes are global and shrinking. It's about pressure, it's economic warfare, and it's escalating. Okay, the source was The Guardian today for this update. So yeah, the White House did slap some sanctions onto Iran, and some of these sanctions were tied back to China as well. Okay, so major sanctions announced from the U.S. today. Now, World Source News 24/7 again, breaking. Channel 12 out of Israel. said Israel will strike the Fordo nuclear site independently if the U.S. chooses not to act. Okay, so even if we don't see the U.S. dropping these bombs over there, Israel wants to do it themselves, and I'm not sure if they have the munitions that are capable of striking that nuclear facility. But I guess they're going to try, or I'm not sure if they can equip some of the bombs that the U.S. has. I don't think they could do that. I think that can only be deployed by the B-2 Spirit bombers for these deeper penetrating bombs. So it looks like Israel's going to try to strike it in some sort of way very soon. And they also mentioned recently in the last few days that they might have troops on the ground as well. So I'm sure Iran is looking out for that. Now, open source intel just in, the U.S. has not ruled out any strike options to destroy Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, including the use of tactical nuclear weapons, according to a White House official quoted by Fox News. Yeah, this was actually being reported yesterday that apparently the U.S. could be considering using a tactical nuke. I think that would be like one of the last options, that they were allegedly stating that they might have to launch bunker buster bombs first to like soften up the ground. Then they might possibly utilize a tactical nuclear weapon, and they're leaving all options on the table. So that would be insane if they were to deploy one of these. But yeah, don't be surprised if we see a tactical nuclear weapon detonated inside of Iran. That would be pretty crazy to see, but I guess it could be a possibility according to Fox News yesterday. Now, World Source News 24/7, Channel 12 News out of Israel reports Iranian police official says about 5 million people left Tehran following Israeli attacks. Okay, so about half the population of Tehran has already left. I think there's around 9 or close to 10 million people who live there, and we've been seeing lots of videos of just rows of cars leaving on all the highways out of Tehran, and they're getting out of there because of all the attacks that have been taking place. And on top of that, Trump put out a statement warning everybody to get out of Tehran now, as they're probably going to be launching strikes over there. So yeah, about 5 million people have already left Tehran. Now, World Source News 24/7 breaking: a 5.2 magnitude earthquake occurred 35 kilometers southwest of Semnan, Iran. So we also had an earthquake again today in Iran, and some people were saying, oh, maybe they're testing nuclear weapons again, and I'm not sure about that. I can't completely confirm that. But Iran does have a lot of seismic activity, throughout their nation, so it's pretty frequent and normal for this to be a thing over here. But some people are stating that it could have been them testing nuclear weapons, but again, we don't know for sure. Now, Megatron Ron breaking: Netanyahu says Iran still has 28,000 ballistic missiles, according to Al Jazeera today. Okay, so that's not good news, because we know that Netanyahu does not have 28,000 interceptors to bring down these ballistic missiles, and they're very expensive. So the longer this war carries on, the more money this war is really costing, and it's costing a lot of money right now for Israel and the United States. So I'm sure they want to end this as soon as possible. And from what we understand, the U.S. is really the only real capability here of ending this war sooner than later, because they've got the bombs to potentially destroy the Fordo nuclear facility, and that could be the end of Iran's nuclear program, possibly. We'll have to see what happens there. Now, World Source News 24/7 again. Wall Street Journal reports reserves of interceptor missiles for the THAAD system are being restocked. This is something we've been talking about, that Israel's been getting hit so much. They got hit again this morning in 2 different cities in their nation due to these Iranian ballistic missiles being fired. And we thought that a lot of it was due to maybe their interceptor missiles being their reserve stocks basically running out. But apparently, according to this information, they are receiving more of them, and we have been seeing reports of lots of flights going into Israel bringing them weapons. Now, World Source News 24/7 breaking: Israeli authorities state there is currently no indications that the central government in Tehran is losing control. Quite the opposite. The Iranian regime appears to be tightening its grip. Okay, so while some people might be thinking right now maybe the Iranian regime is collapsing over there, what we're hearing is, according to this information, Israeli authorities are stating that, if anything, Iran is getting stronger. They're not really loosening or losing control of the situation over there. They're actually getting more powerful and tightening their grip onto the nation. So that's not good news, because if we want this war to end, then Israel needs to finish up the job over there, and it looks like their strikes are not doing enough to damage the Iranian regime. Now, World Source News 24/7 breaking: the Israeli Air Force is now attacking the city of Avaz, if I'm saying that right, in southwestern Iran. Here's a video coming out of airstrikes that were taking place over there. I'm going to show you guys numerous videos and pictures coming out from Iran today, as we had lots of airstrikes being carried out, like what you see here. Not sure exactly what Israel was targeting here, but this was southwestern Iran. Now, open source intel breaking, the IDF has just struck multiple IRGC surface to air missile batteries. So these are air defense systems that were being destroyed. You can see multiple hits here. Israel's still been destroying dozens of launchers, whether it be air defense batteries or missile launchers that they use to launch these ballistic missiles into Israel. Israel has been carrying out a lot of strikes on these, still destroying as many of them as they can. Now, from World Source News 24/7, breaking footage of recent Israeli attacks in Iran's mountainous area. We've got new video coming out from Iran showing Israeli airstrikes on a mountainside here. So this is probably some sort of underground bases or something like that for the RGC is probably what Israel was targeting here. But a pretty crazy video. It's 18 seconds. I want you guys to see this. All right, so we can see a pretty massive airstrike here from the IDF launching missiles and bombs over here onto this mountainside. And again, most likely is probably some sort of underground facility that's used by the RGC that Israel's probably trying to destroy. They might have been dropping some bunker busters right there as well. Now, from next to Israel has eliminated a top Iranian nuclear scientist in Tehran who specialized in nuclear weapons, according to the Wall Street Journal. Reportedly, the apartment where he was killed was a secret safe house where he had been relocated for protection against a possible Israeli assassination. Looks like someone underestimated the reach of Mossad. They can get to anyone, anywhere in Iran. Yeah, looks like we had an explosion over here in an apartment. I'm thinking it was probably some sort of sabotage mission, that maybe a bomb was on the inside of this apartment, and we had another Iranian nuclear scientist that has been eliminated again. Okay, this is already probably dozens by now that Israel has been able to take out, and their Mossad just locates where everybody is at, whether it's in Iran or Lebanon, or it really does not matter. They're able to find everybody and eliminate them. So that was a new picture coming out from Iran today. Now, Israel War Room, the IDF eliminated Mohammed Qadir al-Husseini, the commander of the Hezbollah firepower array in the Litani sector in the area of Chabriya in southern Lebanon. During the war, the terrorists advanced numerous attacks towards Nahariya, Haifa, and additional cities within Israeli territory. Recently, he had been involved in efforts to rebuild Hezbollah's artillery forces. His actions constituted a blatant violation of the understandings between Israel and Lebanon. The IDF will continue to operate to remove any threat to the state of Israel. Okay, so another commander of Hezbollah, this is over in Lebanon, and apparently Israel is still carrying out airstrikes over here. I've been seeing a few reports of some bombings in southern Lebanon recently. So Israel's still consistently going after Hezbollah, even though majority of their focus is onto Iran right now. Okay, so they took out another commander of Hezbollah's firepower array. Now, from World Source News 24/7, breaking direct impacts in Haifa, Beersheba, and Tel Aviv after the latest Iranian missile barrage. It is being reported that between 20 to 30 missiles got launched by Iran. Yeah, so this is all that happened this morning. Now I'm going to show you guys some of the reports out of Israel as they got heavily attacked by ballistic missiles today. So now for next, an Iranian missile has once again struck Beersheba in southern Israel near the Microsoft building. Ballistic missile launched from Iran fell in the city of Beersheba in southern Israel. A fire broke out after debris landed near residential buildings. The missile landed close to Microsoft's office building. According to the Emergency Medical Service, Megan David Adam, 6 people sustained minor injuries. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps stated that the Microsoft building was the target of the strike and added that half of the Jewish state's revenue comes from the export of tech companies. That Microsoft collaborates with the Israeli military in the fields of artificial intelligence and missile interception technologies. So it looks like the Iranians tried to target this Microsoft building, but it looks like they missed. If they did, it looks like they may have damaged it a little bit. There is a fire that kind of looks like it could be coming from the top of it, but I believe it's on the other side of the building, and it looks like it may have missed its target, at least just slightly. But otherwise, we did have a fire here and this ballistic missile attack in Beersheba. And yesterday, I just reported to you guys, we had a hospital that was directly struck over there. We had a lot of people being injured in that strike. Now, Max 25 claimed to be a fragment of a rocket that fell in southern Israel. This is a picture of one of these rockets that had fallen down and landed right over here. Looks like maybe even near someone's house. There's like plants right here. This could be someone's backyard, actually, what we're looking at right here. So here's the missile just landing right there, and everybody's coming over here to check it out. Pretty crazy picture right there. Now from Ozen Defender, another photo of the impact crater from the Iranian ballistic missile, which landed outside of an apartment building in Beersheba. Here's a direct impact here also, okay? Massive hole in the middle of the street. Look at all these cars over here that were destroyed. These guardrails got blown out here in front of this home. There was lots of damage here reported in Beersheba. I believe it was multiple ballistic missiles striking here once again. This is a city in southern Israel. Now, Ozen Aggregator, Iran using cluster munitions. Iran's Channel 12 reports that an Iranian missile used in a recent strike on Israel carried 26 small rockets, which detonated across a wide area, causing extensive damage within a radius of several hundreds of meters. Okay, I believe this was in response to yesterday's attack in Tel Aviv, or Ramat Gan, which is like a district just right outside Tel Aviv. And it was like a downtown area where the stock exchange was at, and that area got hit by a ballistic missile. And whenever that missile went off, they were finding smaller fragments of other smaller rockets. So they were possibly indicating that this was some sort of cluster munition warhead that was fired. And apparently, according to Channel 12, this thing had 26 small rockets attached to a ballistic missile warhead. Okay, so some sort of cluster munition that was being used yesterday. This has been confirmed. Now for more translated, massive explosions rock Haifa as Iranian ballistic missiles hit. Blasts also heard in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. So this is up north in Israel, close to the border of Lebanon. And we had strikes over here as well. This video is going to show multiple angles of different attacks taking place in Haifa today. This is a major port city up in the northwestern corner of Israel, right on the border of the Mediterranean Sea. Take a look at this.
ولا What the fuck? لا ما أمين والله ما أمين.
All right, so I do apologize for the brief profanity there, guys, but yes, lots of strikes taking place here in the port city of Haifa today. You can see a lot of damage here, many buildings being destroyed due to multiple ballistic missiles. You can also see all these air interceptor missiles that flew up into the air to try to bring down these ballistic missiles coming from Iran, and it looks like some of them were failing. So again, we're seeing more reports here of strikes inside of Israel, and this is possibly indicating that they are running low on munitions for interceptors and their air defense batteries. So not good news, but again, according to the Wall Street Journal today, they're reporting that Israel has received more interceptors. Here's a picture now from Ozen Technical, Iranian ballistic missile impact in Haifa, Israel. So here's a really good photo of this, one of these strikes over here that took place. We look at the amount of smoke coming from this ballistic missile. That had to have been a very heavy warhead when it slammed into this port city here. You can see all these ships over here and stuff too. There's lots of aid that comes into this port, and I do have an update on this port as well here in just a moment. Now, Megatron Ron breaking destruction in Haifa after Iranian missiles hit the city. Okay, we're going to see more destruction here inside of Haifa after ballistic missiles were targeting the city from Iran. Take a look.
شو صار؟ ايه؟ ايش فيه؟ وين الشباب؟ كله طحن هون.
All right, so the Israelis are definitely experiencing a lot of damage, way more than they've probably seen in any other conflict, even with Hamas, the Houthis, and also Hezbollah up in Lebanon. I mean, we're seeing major destruction across Israel, and there were some reports yesterday. There's some bloggers talking about how 1/3 of Israel is experienced major damage already. So, you know, we're talking massive strikes over here with these ballistic missiles. These things are incredibly damaging. And we can see here all the infrastructure just blown out from this strike. Now, our final update of the day here for Megatron Ron at New. World's largest shipping company, Maersk, announces it will suspend all commercial shipping to Haifa port. Okay, that's really bad news. This is one of the largest shipping companies in the world, and they're no longer going to be supplying any aid to the Haifa port. I'm not sure if they can go to other ports in Israel. I think Israel has at least 2 or 3 different ports. Maybe they might go to a different one. But because the Haifa port is being targeted so much by ballistic missiles, they don't want to risk having their ships going over there and getting struck by any ballistic missiles. So that's not good news. That's going to damage Israel's economy a lot unless they can find a way to get around that. So not good news coming out from Israel. Just wanted to share some updates with you guys coming out from this war today. And very curious to know what you guys think about all these developments that are ongoing right now. So share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down below in the comment section. But that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.